session, access management and identity. Sir, identity and access management. So what exactly this and how it is going to work, or what it is going to happen, everything. So we'll discuss on today's session. Okay. So the very okay. So this is what about AWS and AWS identity and access management, the topic which we are going to discussing on today's session. So when you talk about this identity and access management, it is very clearly telling you that uh, how those users are getting authenticated. Okay, so like what is username and what is password, and then when the username and password is going to when the username and password the particular user is going to hit. So how come that username and password can be validated? So all these type of information where we are going to discussing on today's session. Okay, so this apart from this, like components of IAM and managing users in IAM, managing permissions with the groups and creating roles and application access to the S3 services. Okay, so most of the cases we have number of services which is in AWS actually. So each service we can able to go and each service we are able to each service we are going to work depend on our requirement actually. So IAM is one of the service which is in AWS. So that particular policy and it elements how it is and then what it is. So that we'll discuss on this. So best practice of IAM and identity and credential management, access and permission management, delegation and audit, creating API keys for accessing AWS services. So basically the moment once you create any of the instance, so you are you are becoming the owner of that particular instance. So now, so whenever any other person wants to be logging onto that particular machine, they should have to be what I can say, they should have somehow the keys actually. So however we yesterday logged in, right? So the similar way they should need a keys actually. So if they don't have the keys, obviously they cannot able to log in into the machine. So how come we are going to give the API services to them or to access this machine? So that and all also will comes under into this identity and access management feature. So key management of KMS and its usage. So that KMS is one of our other kind of in a system which is going to helping to access your system to any of your team members which is available in your organization. So that also we can able to give it. Then AWS billing. So then most of the cases, whoever is the owner of that particular AWS console, so that is the only one person who is having the billing or related permissions actually. So if you are becoming if you are becoming admin user, so then you will be accessing this AWS billing and all. So then you are just a member, so you don't get an access of this AWS billing and all. Okay. So then creating a budget. So then as I told you yesterday, so once you do the practical session, so then you should go under shutting down the services. Otherwise, you will be getting charged. So now, so we can able to put some of the budget also over there. Like if it is going to cross $500, or if it is going to cross $100, so automatically your VM is going to shutting. So that budget also you can able to make it actually. Okay. So what are the objectives which is available on the desk? So work with IAM services, manage IAM components, recognize the best practice of IAM, manage keys and using KMS, access and creating on billing related concepts. So these and all we can able to do it. Okay. So identity and access management. So when you talk about identity and access management, IAM allows access to compute, storage, database, and application services. So IAM deals with 4 terms such as user, group, and roles and policies. So when you talk about the user, groups, roles, and policies, this is very, very, very important. It is not only in AWS. If you go any of the sector or any type of either application servers or web servers or database systems, or any other software related tools. So this is main key place where the users' roles, responsibilities, and groups will be defined. Okay, so if you go to the database, so you have the similar type of roles so we can able to define. If you go to some other, so then you can able to have the similar type of roles. Okay, so it controls both credentialized and fine grained API resources plus management console. The moment whenever you want to give an access to the respective users and all to accessing the console, and also then you are going to use this particular resource actually. So then post this, IAM allows and manage AWS users and groups. Also, it provides the permissions to allow and deny the access of AWS resources. So who are the AWS resources over here? So we are becoming as an AWS resources because we are accessing that particular console, right? So then we are the AWS resources here. So along with you, so there might be like 15 members or 20 members or 100 members. So now how come all these 100 members are getting access of this particular AWS console? That and all will be categorized, or that and all will be allowing with the help of this particular IAM roles and responsibilities. Okay. IAM users, an individual who has set to permission is an IAM user, and IAM groups. So basically, we 4 members are in this particular meeting. So we all 3 will be coming as in a users. So then one person will be coming as an admin. So the admin allow all 3 of us into this meeting. So if admin don't want to allow of us, so then obviously he can able to deny. So now we all 3 in this group. So if any other person who's trying to enter in this particular meeting, obviously this particular admin is not able to allow in, or admin is automatically deny that particular request. So that's what actually happening. This IAM groups. So we are becoming as in a one group. So now on this particular group, so which all our members are there. So all these members will be coming as an access of this particular group. Apart from this particular group, whoever the member is trying to accessing this particular group, obviously this particular server or whatever it is, so he's getting a deny exception. He's getting a deny exception. Okay, so then policies are there. So IAM policy specifies those permissions that you want to acquire. So for example, so I'm a user of AWS. I've just logged in with the help of AWS user, and I have an access to create an EC2 instance, to creating an EC2 instance. At any point of time, when I'm just trying to start that particular instance or stopping that particular instance, I have a full access because I'm becoming as an EC2 instance. Now the same AWS console, okay, whatever the console which I just accessed, the same AWS console, you also having an access. So the moment when you are trying to getting access that particular console, you will get a deny exception, or you will access that particular console and you cannot able to perform any such actions like such actions like stopping, starting, and other related stuff. Okay, because you don't have you are in my group only, but you don't have permissions. You don't have permissions. That's what actually happens here. So now suppose that IAM roles define set of permissions for making AWS service requests. IAM roles are basically assigned to the specific applications. So now depend on to that particular application, this IAM role is going to helping you. This IAM role is going to helping you actually. So now we have mainly focusing on to the 4 different categorized user, groups, policies, and roles. Okay, so you are becoming of that particular role or not. So now all this will be defined at the groups itself. All this big defined under the groups itself. Okay, that's what actually happened. So managing users with IAM. So here is IAM. You can list of users account, users in groups, also groups which is particular user belongs to. So basically by default, these groups are already defined. Okay, this group already defined it actually. So, so user accounts, AWS management console, and users in groups, AWS management console, groups name, users, groups to which user belongs to, all the and all will be here. Okay, so now the user name can be updated using the CLI command line interface. Here is the only name of the user is updated. All the permissions of the users, policy, services, groups remains the same. So we can able to define all this. So then you can able to delete that particular user if you don't want that particular user and all. Now, why should we manage permissions with groups? Okay, so why should we required in a locked house? Obviously, that for a security. So if any case you locked your house and then someone will come and then you forgot to lock your house and then someone will come and then they can able to steal something whatever there in your house, right? So that is the reason we are going to locking that house. So it's because of the security. The same concept is applicable into any of the application concept. So here, so more guardrail control and minimize the chance of accidentally performing privileged action. So for example, you are not the right person, but at anyhow, you just stopped one of EC2 instance. The moment when you stop that EC2 instance, immediately it is getting affected to your business. How come it is getting affected? So I have installed one application on it. That application can be accessed by end users. So then who can able to, for example, Amazon.com. So Amazon.com is accessing by end users. So then they are going to buying any such kind of any products over there. But you unfortunately stop that. So how much business loss you have? We cannot able to come to know, or we cannot able to define like this is what the loss. So then it is unlimited. Each second there is multiple transactions, thousands of transactions can be happen into the AWS, right? E-commerce site. So that's what actually happening. So easy way to so that is the reason. So here we can able to define so user privileged. So then whether that particular user is having access to stop the EC2 instance or not. So that and all we can able to define it over there. So easy way to update permissions for multiple users. So then we can able to update any such kind of permissions to multiple users at the same time. So reduce the complexity of accessing management as a number of users to grow. So when the users automatically getting increased. So if I'm going to create one group called ABC. So now today that particular ABC group is having only one particular user. So tomorrow it will become to 10 users. Day after tomorrow it will become to 100 and more after 1 month. So it will become more than 900 and 1000. So this is how it can be. So we don't need to worry about adding each and every user over there. So instead of creating one group over there, and then you can assign that particular users to that group. Okay. So reduce the opportunity for a users to accidentally get exclusive access. So whenever the user is trying to accessing any such kind of accidental activities which you can perform, so then we can able to reduce that. So easy way to reassign permissions based on change in responsibility. So now until today you are becoming as a user. So tomorrow you are going to change from user to some like admin or whatever it is. So that is also can be possible. Okay. So this is what actually happened. So how to manage permissions with groups? So attach policies to the groups and so create groups to that particular related job functions and attach policies to the groups and user manage policies to logically manage the permissions, manage groups members to assign the permissions and start with minimal set of permissions and grant additional permissions as necessary and restrict to that particular user. So whichever is not belongs to your group, so that you can able to do it. Regularly check access advisor to restrict the access. So then who are trying to access that one, that and all you can able to access it and then you can able to check it. So control access to specific resources using resource based policy. For example, or we all three. So then one of you, I want to So you are in a same group, but still though, if I want to deny your particular request, so then I can able to do it with the help of this. So what is IAM? So IAM is a policy which is defined into the JSON language. IAM is a policy which is defined into the JSON language actually. Okay, so it defines AWS permissions. It can be attached to users or a groups. So this can be happen. And elements of IAM policy. So we have an version, we have a statement, we have an effect, we have an action, we have a resource, and we have a principle. Okay, so this and all will be there. So specifies the current version of the policy language, contains array of elements, whether the statement will result in an allow or explicitly deny. So then describes the specific actions or actions that will be allowed or denied, specifies the object of objects that are statement covers. So principal elements and specifies the identity. So this and all we can. So if you want to define your own policy with the help of this AWS, so that you can able to do it by just doing this. Okay. So post this. So best practice for IAM. So now you can able to define like this. Access and permission management, delegation and audit. So then you can do that audit and all. It is a good habit to create an individual users. So then instead of creating one particular user and then you can give the same username and password to all your group. So that is getting affected your performance and that is getting affected your business also. Sometimes one of a user deleted and then you have to question to everyone. So who are using that particular username and password. Okay. So that is the benefits and then how to do it. So create IAM user for yourself, create individual user for others. So then you can do it the same way. Always configure strong password policy. So then the password policy is very much important. You go to anywhere. So require the password will be automatically reset or it is going to ask you to reset for every 90 days. So require complex password, require password rotation policy. So then the benefits of this. So this is ensure your user and data is protected, easy to enforce password complexity requirement, increase account resilience and again is brute force login attempts. So the moment whenever anyone is trying to do this. So identity and credential management. So the root account holder as well, IAM user in this account should be regularly change their password and access their analyze if the password or access key is compromised without any owner knowledge. So if anyone like so basically the moment when you are going to creating an AWS account, so that will becoming as in a root account. So this is a root account. Even I logged in yesterday, day before yesterday, all these are root accounts only. Okay, all these are the root accounts actually. Okay, 1 second, guys. I'm just okay. So post this access and permission management. So it is grant least privileges, manage permissions with groups, and restrict privileged access further with conditions. Always enable AWS Cloud Trail to be aware of API call logs. So these are the permissions of which you can able to do it over here. And default delegation and audit. Sorry. So use IAM rules along with Amazon EC2. Use roles to share access and try to reduce or better remove to root use. So basically, don't go for the root use actually. So if you are going to use the root access, then it might get a problem or it might get so it is going to sometimes like it can be able to if you are going to deleting or anything, so that comes to your head only. So that is the reason, don't go with the root user most of the time. So go with the normal, your own user or self user you can create. Okay. So this is what about. So let's do the practical of this IAM. So IAM, okay, so let me log into the AWS console firstly, then I can do this. So you can see that I'm accessing my account with the root user. So, but I should go with this user actually. But anyhow, I haven't created IAM, so I'm going to root user. So just click
we are
on next.
seeing a different screen now.
Yeah, 1 second, sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
so now you're able to see, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, okay, so basically, when I'm trying to accessing, you can see there's a root user actually. So, but what I'm trying to do is I want to go with the IAM user, but I haven't created this IAM services. That is the reason I'm going to go with the root user. So now just click on this root user and log in with your root user. So once you jumped into that console of the AWS, so then you can able to create this IAM service. Okay. So you just click on the services. You see, this is the services actually. So click on the services. You can see there's a number of services is available. Okay, so EC2 service, you have database migration service, you have AWS migration hub, you have CloudWatch, you have VPC, you have AWS transfer family, you have, so like that, a number of services are there. So in that, one of a service called IAM service. So click on this IAM service. So this IAM service is going to, we can do something. Okay, so now let's launch this IAM service. Okay, so basically when you are going to accessing, so there is a two-way authentication, or you can say that a password authentication. So when you're talking about the two-way authentication, so in organization, so you have an RSA token. So with that particular RSA token only, once in your mobile is if it is a soft token in your mobile, you will get an RSA code, right? So with that particular code, you can able to log in. Okay, or else you cannot able to log in it actually. Okay. So now add MFA, add MFA for the root users, enable multi-factor authentication. So you have to install this MFA, one of our software in your mobile. So now whatever that particular MFA code which is given in your multi-factor authentication it is. So that the code which is in your mobile, once you enter that code in your this login access, then only you can able to logged in actually, or else it is not getting logging into system. So that's what actually happened. Okay. So, but for now, whatever. So then we just try to use a username and password. So we don't have any this MFA access. Okay. So now here we just go create this users. So now I'm just going to creating a user. So HARISH Harish, and provide user access to the AWS management console is optional. I want to create an IAM user, specify user identity, create recommendation. So just click on next, manage identity center. So you will be prompted to the next screen. So where you can able to define this, enable this IAM center, then creating AWS organization. So all this like it depend on. So you see that enable IAM credit identity center. So multiple users, management consoles. So one particular center where you can able to define, manage access multiple AWS accounts, choose your identity store. So we don't have any identity store. So if you want to create your identity store, so this is what the default which is getting created. Okay. This is the default which is getting created. So just go to the dashboard. I am. Okay. So here you can see that you have create a user groups and then you have create the policies, everything. Okay. So now click on this user groups and create your group. You can create a user here, and then you see that these are the policies which is already there. So AWS managed policy, all this. So you just go on to create, depend on your request. Like for example, I want to define my own JSON file. So then you can able to define the JSON file here, and then you can able to paste it, or else you can able to create your own policy. That is also be possible. Okay, or else you can directly use that IAM role. So then if you just click IAM, so IAM full access you can give to that particular user. So then you can add the user to this IAM full access, this one, or IAM self management service specified credentials. So IAM this. So these are all the policies already predefined. So depend on your requirements. So then you can be able to use it. But the users you have to configure depend on your request. Okay. So I'll just click on this username, then HARISH Harish. So then click on next, add user to the group. So copy permission attached to policies. So now just click on next. So now user will be here and add a new tag. So then to that particular user, whatever the tag which you want to define. Okay. So now user has been created. So there is no groups. So now you see that you haven't created any group. Okay. So now create a group. So now I'll just make it this as a middleware group. Okay, so I'm going to give this a IAM policies to this particular group. So IAM full access I'm going to give it and then create the group. So the group is having a complete of this. So now who belongs to this particular group? So it is this configuring. So now it is getting loading actually. So let's see that. So else you just go to your users and then add the user to the respective group. So that's also can be fine. That is also can be fine. Still loading. Let get load that particular policy. So if you just go to your user and then assign that group, so just click on this groups and you have add user groups. So then you have your own group which you just created, add user to this particular group. So now the user becoming as this particular group, and then you can able to define the access of that particular user, and you just go to the tag. So then you can able to define any tag is nothing but like what you are trying to uh, tell to your the users who are seeing this particular uh, control. Okay, so this is how you just need to be able to do it. So now we can able to access this particular user. We haven't created the class. Click on this and groups is already defined. Shifts enable console access, enable apply. Now it is show password. So with this, we can able to access. So now let me just copy this URL and go over to your another browser. Okay. Go to your another browser, paste it here, and click on enter. Okay. So it is going to asking you the username. So by default, the account ID will be automatically added in your register. Okay, account ID is this. So with this account ID, the username is HARISH Harish. And what is the password? So password which is created. It is a strong password. Okay. It is a strong password which is created. Just put this Control V. Then click on sign in button. So now you will be prompted into the AWS console. Apart from the this user, so now you also will be coming as a part of this particular country. Okay, so it is trying to log in. We're just trying to get to the login. So this is how you can able to create this instant. I mean, this is how you just create able to IAM related concepts. Okay, so identity providers you can have. So if you any of external providers, if you want to configure, you can able to create that external providers also. So then account settings you have here. Okay, so like from which all countries the users can able to log in. So all these active are there. So identity providers is there for external. So policies and roles you have, users and groups you have. Okay, so this is what actually the IAM. So I request you to just create this. Yeah, now you see that finally I can able to log in. Got it? So go to IAM, not IAM, EC2. Yesterday we have created one instance, right? Let's check that whether that particular instance is getting appear here or not. Okay, you see that elastic IPs, you don't have an access, you don't have an access, you don't have an access, you have access only these instances. Apart from the instances, you don't have any access. Even you're not part of that particular group actually. Okay, that is the reason the instances which was configured by the root user, you cannot able to see it. Okay, and you are not part of this. So now what you need to do? So whatever the root user is having the access, so then you have to give all the access to them. Just go over here and sorry, just go to the user groups and create a group. So you have to just click all this and admin group or whatever you want to just name it that, and then create ADMIN admin. Then just try to create group and actually is exceeding. So then you have a number of policies, might be just 10 policies you can able to define. Yeah, you can attach 10 policies at a time. So ADMIN So that's for guys in today's session. So anything, please.
Harish, T is not working for me. Getting error.
Yes, sir. What
120.